What if the first 10 minutes of your morning held the power to rewrite your entire future? Before the world demands your attention, before your phone lights up, before anyone speaks your name, there is a moment, a window, a sacred opening. And in that window, you have a choice that most people waste. Yeah. They hit snooze. They scroll mindlessly. They delay their greatness. But not you. Not anymore. Because success does not begin with talent, luck, or money. It begins with what you do the moment your eyes open. That first decision sets the tone, the frequency, the direction for everything that follows. You either wake up with purpose or you wake up into chaos. One builds the life you want. The other steals it from you day by day. This moment is where your life is either shaped or scattered. And most never even realize it. They wonder why they're stuck, why nothing changes, why their days feel heavy and meaningless. But it's not the day that's broken, it's the way they started. If your morning is reactive, your life will be reactive. But if your morning is intentional, powerful, grounded, then your life begins to bend in your favor. That's not wishful thinking. That's cause and effect. You're planting seeds every morning, whether you know it or not. The only question is, are you planting weeds or are you planting a forest of unstoppable growth? If you're tired of waking up to the same struggles, the same doubts, the same inner war, then it's time to take back the beginning. The mind is most vulnerable when it wakes. It's open. It's ready to receive. And what you pour into it first becomes a blueprint for your decisions, your energy, your focus. You can continue to allow the world to decide who you are. Or you can use your mornings to declare it yourself. When you begin your day with a decision, you activate a deeper part of yourself. You say to your fear, I'm not following you today. You say to your past, you don't need any more. You say to your dream, I am coming for you and nothing will stop me.
Right here, right now, this is your moment.
The moment to stop drifting and start designing. The moment to stop reacting and start rising. Don't let another morning slip through your fingers. Use it. Command it. Let your first thought be powerful. Let your first breath be filled with intention. Let your first step carry the weight of purpose. If you stay with this, if you commit to honoring your mornings, you will unlock the version of yourself that's been buried beneath hesitation, fear, and routine. This is motivation. This is transformation. The moment you own your morning is the moment you begin to master your life. And if you stay until the end, you'll discover exactly how to do it every single day. Success isn't something you stumble into. It's something you create. Every single morning you have the chance to build it, to shape it, to command it. But too many people wait. They wait for motivation. They wait for signs. They wait for life to get easier before they move. And that's why they stay stuck. Because waiting becomes a habit. Hoping becomes a prison. You weren't created to live by chance. You were created to live by choice. Every action, every intention, every word you speak to yourself in the morning becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. You are building a life, whether you realize it or not. And if you're not building it on purpose, it's being built for you by fear, by distraction, by default. It starts with how you speak to yourself. Before the world tells you who you are, you need to tell yourself the truth. You are not average. You are not meant to settle. You are not here just to survive another day. You are here to rise, to lead, to dominate your purpose. But that kind of life won't meet you halfway. It waits at the top of discipline. It waits at the end of your excuses. It waits for the version of you who's bold enough to declare, I will no longer live beneath my calling. And that declaration begins the moment you open your eyes. If you want to think different, life different, feel different, you must start speaking different. The thoughts you choose each morning are seeds, and the emotions that follow are the water. When you say, today I move forward, your brain starts searching for momentum. When you say, I am worthy of success, your nervous system shifts out of fear. That's not random. That's how you rewire belief. When you combine repetition with emotion, the mind starts to accept it as truth. And once your mind accepts something as truth, your behavior will follow. That is the gateway to transformation. That is where average ends and mastery begin. The reason so many people fail isn't because they lack talent. It's because they never train their thoughts. They wake up, and their thoughts run wild. Doubt, fear, distraction, comparison, all of it floods in. But when you take the wheel, when you choose your first thoughts, you stop the chaos. You replace confusion with conviction. You step into the day with power, not perfection, Power. And power comes from repetition, not once, not sometimes, every single morning. That's how belief is built. That's how confidence becomes your foundation. That's how fear loses grip. You don't need permission to start. You need discipline. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a relentless mindset. Each morning by choosing your thoughts, claiming your worth, and acting like the future is already yours. Because once your thoughts align with your identity, your life will follow. Not in time, in intention, in decision.
The level of clarity you carry.
Your actions lose force. Your energy scatters. That's why you must start every morning by burning away the mental fog. Doubt, distraction, hesitation, they all thrive in confusion. It's the silent killer of potential. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It tells you to wait. It tells you you're not ready. It tells you to do it later. But greatness doesn't grow in later. It grows in clarity. It grows in the fire of decision. And decision doesn't come when your mind is noisy. It comes when your soul is quiet and focused. You need a mental environment where your goals aren't just wishes, but commands. You wake up and you don't ask how you feel. You tell yourself what needs to happen. You define your direction before the day begins. That is how warriors think. That is how leaders move. That is how success becomes inevitable. Clarity gives you courage because when you know where you're going, fear has nothing to hold on to. When you're vague, fear multiplies. When you're specific, fear fades. Your mind needs targets. Your goals must be sharp, not soft. When you speak your aim out loud, when you write it, when you visualize it, your brain starts aligning with it. That's not magic. It's wiring. It's biology. Your focus creates your filter, and your filter determines what you see, what you feel, and what you believe is possible. Most people fail because they never set a clear intention. They don't lead their morning. They follow their mood. But mood is unreliable. Mood is affected by sleep, food, emotions, and noise. Intention is different. Intention cuts through mood. It tells your mind, this is what I've chosen. This is where we're going. This is who I am today. And when that intention is repeated, reinforced, and emotionally grounded, it becomes a mental habit, a way of thinking that no longer needs motivation. You move from needing willpower to operating on autonomy. You no longer chase success. You behave as if it already belongs to you. This is why every morning must begin with clarity. You don't need a long list. You need one truth, one target, one focus, one. That is how progress becomes consistent. That is how energy becomes laser focused. You must decide what matters most before the day tells you what matters least. When you start your morning by declaring your goal, you give your brain a filter. You begin to ignore the noise. You tune out the irrelevance. Your mind stops chasing everything and starts pursuing one thing with precision. This is how greatness is built. One focused intention at a time. Not by doing more, but by doing what counts. When you commit to your aim before anything else, you move with purpose. You stop reacting. You stop hesitating. You stop second guessing. Your energy becomes aligned with your mission, and that alignment creates momentum. You don't have to force motivation when you are deeply connected to what you've chosen to pursue. Motivation fades. Focus lasts fast. The power of a definite aim is that it simplifies your decisions. It removes confusion. It makes your day clear. Every task either moves you closer or pulls you further. There is no in between. That kind of mental discipline is rare, but it's available to anyone willing to train it. You do that by writing your aim down every morning. Not once. Not once. Every morning. You read it. You speak it. You feel it. You feel it. You feel it. You repeat with intensity. Your brain begins to believe. And what your brain believes, your body begins to execute. That's not theory. That's transformation. That's how you move from who you were into who you were meant to become. You don't need more information. You need more alignment. The world is full of knowledge and empty of execution. You bridge that gap with clarity. A clear goal, a clear reason, and a clear standard. Most people drift because they never choose. But once you choose, once you aim, once you say, this is what I will achieve, you shift into a higher frequency. You begin to see opportunities you once missed. You become aware of resources you once ignored. Your mind filters the world through purpose, and that changes everything. Start your morning by setting your target. One goal, one aim, one direction. Say it out loud. Write it until it feels real. Focus your energy on it until it pulls you forward. The mind you lead in the morning becomes the life you live in the world. Stop waiting for clarity. Start creating it. Because when your mind knows where it's going, your life stops running in circles. It starts running in circles and starts running toward it. There is a force inside you waiting to be activated, but it only responds to certainty, not hope, not maybe, not someday. Certainty and certainty is not a feeling you wait for. It's a decision you make. You must wake up each morning and choose certainty before doubt has a chance to speak. Before fear begins to whisper. Before insecurity has a chance to grow. Certainty is not about knowing how everything will unfold. It's about knowing who you are and where you're going, even when the path isn't clear. When you start your day with that level of conviction, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. The mind obeys the strongest voice it hears. If your inner voice is passive, reactive, unsure, you will live passively, reactively, and uncertainly. But when your voice is firm, decisive, grounded in purpose, your actions will reflect it. Certainty doesn't require permission. It doesn't wait for the approval of others. It doesn't need external validation. It's built through repetition, decision, and emotional fire. Every time you declare who you are and what you will do, even when you don't feel ready, you carve a new pathway in your brain. You are not waiting for confidence. You are building it, word by word, thought by thought, action by action. Start your morning by declaring your identity, not your limitations, not your history, your identity. Say what you believe about yourself, say who you are becoming, say it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your words carry energy, they carry power. And when spoken with intensity, they shape the way you think, move, and lead. You're not just repeating phrases, you're reprogramming patterns. You're replacing self-doubt with self-command. That is how transformation happens, not once, but daily. You must train yourself to speak with belief before results appear. Anyone can speak with confidence when things are working. Few can speak with certainty when the outcome is still invisible. That's what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. They act like the vision is already real. They move like the door is already open. They think like success has already arrived. Because the mind doesn't wait for reality to confirm, it creates the reality it expects. This is how mental conditioning works. What you consistently say to yourself becomes a lens through which you see the world. And that lens either empowers you or breaks you. Don't start your day with questions. Start it with declarations. Start it with declarations. Replace hesitation with decision. Replace weakness with identity. Speak until your voice gets stronger. Repeat until your thoughts align. Act until your energy matches your purpose. This is not hype. This is habit, and habits shape destiny. Some dates today, and now your words are not just sounds; they are commands. Every morning, the language you use either builds your future or buries it. The way you speak to yourself shapes how you feel, what you believe, and what you do. If your words are weak, your actions will follow. If your language is rooted in fear, your life will be ruled by hesitation. But when your words are strong, intentional, and rooted in identity, your mindset becomes your strongest weapon. You must become deliberate with the dialogue you allow in your head, because unchecked thoughts become patterns, and patterns become prisons. But chosen words become keys. They unlock the next level of you. Speak with conviction even when you don't feel it yet. Not because you're pretending, but because you're aligning with who you truly are. This isn't about faking confidence. It's about training your brain to believe what your future requires. Your destiny isn't waiting on circumstances. It's waiting on your decision to speak as the person who's already living it. Say what you want before you see it. Declare what you will do before the world believes it. That is how leaders move. That is how change begins. Not by reacting to reality, but by commanding it with language that demands alignment. Every word carries energy. Every phrase carries emotion. Every phrase carries emotion. Your nervous system listens to everything you say. When you speak weakness, your body responds with fatigue. When you speak power, your posture shifts, your eyes sharpen. Your steps become deliberate. This is not psychological theory. It's transformation in motion. That's why you must train your voice before you train your actions. Speak as if it's already done. Speak as if you are already free. Speak as if the door is already opened and you are walking through it now. When you repeat that identity with intensity, your mind begins to accept it. And when the mind accepts it, the world begins to mirror it. Never underestimate the influence of your inner voice. That voice can become your greatest coach or your worst enemy. And it doesn't take a lifetime to change it. It takes a moment of decision, followed by consistent repetition. Every morning, choose words that honor your future, not words that glorify your pain. Choose language that empowers your next step, not words that validate your fear. Speak life into your day, or you'll find your day draining life out of you. You don't have to feel confident to speak like a leader. But the moment you speak like a leader, your confidence begins to build one word at a time, one phrase at a time, one morning at a time. This is how you shift your identity, not by hoping, but by declaring. Speak strength, speak direction, speak purpose, because the voice you choose every morning becomes the life you live every day. Speak like you mean it, speak like it matters, because it does. The way you begin your morning is the way you define your momentum. You don't rise just to exist. You rise to conquer. You rise to lead. You rise to become the sharpest version of yourself, not just mentally, but spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Success doesn't come to the distracted. It doesn't chase the lazy. It rewards those who dare to command their focus, discipline their habits, and anchor their identity before the world places its demands. You must be the one who creates your emotional state. You must be the one who builds the energy you want to carry. Waiting for motivation is weakness. Building motivation through action is power. You don't need to feel like it. You need to feel like it. You need to become the kind of person, when your feet touch the floor in the morning, you're already in motion. That is your moment to declare authority over your direction. You're not waking up for convenience. You're waking up for alignment. You're not here to just check boxes. You're here to build a mindset that multiplies results. A mindset that cannot be shaken by moods or disrupted by doubts. You train your mind to respond to your mission, not your moods, because moods fluctuate, but purpose remains. And when you wake up with purpose, discipline becomes your default. Every successful morning is built on clarity. If your mind is cluttered, your path is cloudy. You cannot afford to begin your day in confusion. You must lock in your intention. You must center yourself around the core reason that compels action. Not a vague wish, but a bold direction. You don't ask the day what it holds. You tell the day what it will deliver. You take control of your attitude. You activate your physiology. You set the tone with powerful rituals. This isn't about routine. It's about routine. It's about personal revolution. You are rewriting the script of your life every time you choose discipline over distraction, strength over sloppiness, movement over hesitation. There's no luxury in indecision. Indecision weakens the will. It depletes your confidence. You must decide who you are and then act like it with every fiber of your being. Your brain is waiting for clarity. Your body is waiting for command. Your results are waiting for boldness. And none of it happens without an inner ignition. You don't find fire, you build. You don't stumble into greatness. You sculpt it. Every morning becomes an opportunity to raise your standards, harden your commitment, and eliminate the noise that pulls you off track. The choice is yours every single day. Will you rise as a follower of fatigue or as a commander of discipline? Will you drift or will you dominate? Your future is being shaped in the quiet, unseen moments when no one's watching. You either reinforce weakness or you practice power speaking. Feel it. Do it. Then never back down from becoming exactly who you were born to be. You are the architect of your mind, the commander of your habits, and the guardian of your energy. Nothing shifts until you shift. No breakthrough arrives until you force yourself beyond what's comfortable. Comfort is the great thief. It steals your drive, clouds your clarity, and convinces you to settle. But you weren't made to settle. You were made to evolve, to stretch, to climb. Every time you choose what's hard over what's easy, you grow stronger. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate, you reclaim control. Every time you say yes to your goals and no to your excuses, you win a silent war that few are willing to fight. Your success depends on what you tolerate. If you tolerate laziness, it will spread like poison. If you tolerate distractions, they will dominate your focus. If you tolerate inconsistency, it will infect every area of your life. You must rate your standards so high that even your weakest days still move you forward. Power is not found in the moment you feel like doing the work. It's forged in the moments you don't, but do it anyway. Discipline is freedom, and when discipline becomes your identity, you stop negotiating with failure. You stop entertaining doubt. You stop handing over your destiny to weakness disguised as comfort. You cannot become unstoppable by being undecided. Indecision is a prison. It keeps your potential locked behind the bars of fear and hesitation. But the moment you commit fully and without compromise, you set yourself free. You shift from wishing to executing, from overthinking to doing. Greatness is never passive. It doesn't visit the idle. It favors the relentless. If you want to change your life, stop looking for permission and start creating momentum. Even the smallest step taken in the right direction becomes a force of motion that will compound over time. Disciplined action repeated daily can transform your entire reality. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. You rise by thought. You rise at the moment you wake up, the moment you wake up. You rise by building habits that reinforce your mission, not weaken it. You rise by staying loyal to your future, not your feelings. And every morning you get to prove to yourself that you are not average, that you are not random, that you are not random, that you are not like the rest. You are driven by something greater than excuses. You are led by something deeper than convenience. Your mind was designed to be focused. Your soul was built for purpose. And your body responds to the command of your discipline. Now is the moment, not later, not tomorrow, now. Train yourself to act without waiting, to move without doubting, to execute without delay. You don't need external validation when your conviction runs deep. You don't need to feel ready when your purpose is clear. Build the fire, fan the flame, and let your actions speak with the authority of someone who refuses to be stopped. If you want to transform your life, you must first transform your inner dialogue. Every thought you allow is a seed, and what you water will grow. Doubt, fear, and hesitation cannot thrive in a mind that is constantly aligned with clarity and action. When your self-talk becomes decisive, disciplined, and focused, your entire reality begins to shift. Your mind is not your enemy. It's your most powerful tool, only if you train it. Only if you stop feeding it with limits and start commanding it with certainty. You don't need to wait for confidence to show up. You create confidence through conceit, through repetition, through mastering the moments when your emotions scream, no, but your mission screams, no, but your mission whispers yes. Too many people lose momentum because they are addicted to ease. They choose what feels good now instead of what builds strength for later.
But nothing
Great is built in convenience. Nothing lasting is born in comfort. The price of excellence is high, but the cost of mediocrity is everything. You don't rise by doing what's easy. You rise by doing what's right. The power to change your life is not in some distant event. It's in your next decision, your next discipline, your next act of courage when no one's watching. That's where transformation begins. That's where purpose is forged. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not behind. You are in training. You are being prepared by pressure, refined by resistance, and sharpened by every moment you choose to keep going. The discomfort you feel isn't a sign of failure. It's proof that you're stretching beyond your limits. Wealth never feels comfortable, but it is always worth it. Your future self will never thank you for your excuse, only for your endurance. That voice in your head that tells you to quit is not you. And fear is loudest right before the breakthrough. You must stop underestimating your influence. Every time you rise, you lift someone else without even realizing it. Every time you push through, you become a silent example of what's possible. The world doesn't need more opinions. It needs more disciplined people who live by action, not emotion. People who don't just talk about goals, but build them in silence. You are capable of becoming one of those people. It begins with how you show up when no one applauds, how you train when no one sees, how you believe in yourself when no one else does. That is where champions are born. In the quiet, in the grind, in the deliberate decision to master 1 hour, one habit, one choice at a time. So rise with intention. Move with purpose, think with clarity, and act with the kind of fire that refuses to go out. You are not waiting on motivation. You are becoming disciplined. You are not hoping for greatness. You are building it. moment by moment, decision by decision, day by day. You were not created to live distracted, defeated, or diluted. You were created to be focused, disciplined, and powerful beyond your circumstances. Every time you choose clarity over chaos, you claim back your authority. Every time you silence the noise and center yourself in discipline, you prove that your future matters more than your feelings. Focus is not a skill, it is a decision repeated daily. It is a refusal to give your energy to what drains. It is the unshakable awareness that where your attention goes, your life follows. The mind that is scattered is the life that is stalled. But the mind that is mastered leads to a destiny that cannot be shaken. Stop feeding your distractions. They are thieves disguised as relief. They steal your hours, your clarity, your fire. They convince you that you're busy while robbing you of progress. If you want to reclaim your life, start by reclaiming your time. Audit your habits, audit your thoughts, audit your environment. Your breakthrough doesn't need more time. It needs less waste. Most people don't fail from lack of talent. They fail from lack of focus. You are not lacking capacity. You are leaking into things that do not deserve your energy. Eliminate what weakens you. Protect what strengthens you. Guard your mind like your future depends on it, because it does. Your energy is your greatest asset. Guard it from negativity. Shield it from comparison. Remove yourself from anything that does not align with your vision. You don't owe anyone your peace. You owe it to your purpose. You owe it to the version of yourself that's been waiting on you to take this seriously. You owe it to the future that's calling you higher. If it doesn't build you, it's breaking you. If it doesn't grow you, it's extracting you. Your environment must serve your evolution, not your excuses. There will always be noise. There will always be temptation to settle, to scroll, to waste another hour. But you are not here to blend in. You are here to dominate your space, command your habits, and execute with precision. You must become obsessed with protecting your mission. The more locked in you become, the more unstoppable you feel. The mind that is locked in cannot be manipulated. The spirit that is grounded cannot be shaken. The body that is trained cannot be broken. This is how you lead yourself into greatness, by mastering the minutes no one else sees. You rise by narrowing your focus until nothing else exists but the next right action. You rise by cutting off options and locking in on a path that demands everything from you. You rise by refusing to be average in a world that has normalized weakness. And when you decide to live like this, to truly focus with intensity and purpose, everything changes. Because focus builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence, builds belief, and belief turns your vision into your reality. Stay focused, stay relentless, stay untouchable. The reason most people never rise is not because they are incapable. It's because they never fully commit. They wait for the right moment. They wait for the perfect conditions. They hesitate, stall, and second guess themselves into irrelevance. But the ones who win are not always the smartest. Momentum isn't magic. It's earned by doing what must be done when you least feel like doing it. Every victory begins with the courage to start, even in silence, even in discomfort, even when no one's watching. Progress doesn't ask how you feel, it responds to what you do. If your actions are weak, your results will mirror that weakness. But if your actions are strong, consistent, intentional, the world eventually yields. It cannot ignore sustained force. It cannot deny unwavering pursuit. Your future is shaped not in bursts of inspiration, but in sustained, disciplined effort. Mastery isn't found in what you occasionally do. It's in what you repeatedly chooses would be easier. It's in the early hours, the cold mornings, the quiet grind. The more you align your habits with your goals, the more powerful you become. Not in theory. In reality, you must harden your focus. You must eliminate every excuse, every loophole, every soft compromise that tries to infect your commitment. You do not have time to live beneath your calling. You do not have the luxury of drifting. Your life is too valuable, your mission too sacred, your time too short. This is not about hype. This is about discipline that becomes identity, action that becomes instinct, relentless follow through that becomes. You're not here to participate in mediocrity. You're here to dominate your lane, own your time, command your habits, refuse to retreat. You already have the strength inside you. You already have the tools. What you need now is a vow, a personal, private, unbreakable decision that no matter what happens, you will not stop. No matter what it takes, you will not bend. No matter how hard it gets, you will not lower your standard. Because the moment you make that decision, everything begins to align. Power returns. Focus sharpens. Confidence rises, and your path becomes unstoppable. Not someday. Now. Life, make it count. If you want a life that can make it count, if you must build habits that can build habits. Comfort is the enemy of excellence. Every time you choose ease over effort, you dull your edge. You weaken the fire. But when you choose the difficult path on purpose, something rare begins to grow in you. Self-respect. That internal voice that says, I did not take a shortcut. You rise differently when you know you didn't quit. You walk differently when you know you paid the price. You speak with a strength that can't be fake. Because greatness isn't gifted. It's earned in silence and sweat, in moments no one else sees. The world will try to distract you. Distractions look harmless, but they steal your purpose in pieces. They pull your focus, dilute your drive, and suffocate your potential. Every minute lost to mindless noise is a minute stolen from your future. You must guard your attention like your life depends, and like your life depends, it does. Where your attention goes, your flow, and where your energy flows, your results grow. Let others drift in digital fog, you stay sharp. Let others waste days numbing their mind. You stay alert. You were not born to be average. You were born to rise. You were born to rise, to impact, to lead. You cannot afford to live past. Life does not reward the one who waits. It rewards the one who moves even when they're afraid. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the choice to take action anyway. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be willing. Willing to act, willing to stumble, willing to grow. You gain strength every time you step forward without knowing every answer. Growth isn't in the known. It's in the stretch. It's in doing what you've never done so you can become who you've never been. Pressure is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It shows you where you still need to grow. You must train your mind to obey your mission. When your thoughts drift, bring them back. When your emotions fluctuate, anchor them to your values. When doubt creeps in, silence it with decisive action. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are not incapable. You are simply untrained in consistency, and that can change today. Not through grand declarations, but through small, relentless execution. Show up every day, especially on the hard days, especially when you're tired, especially when you're invisible. That's when champions are made, not when it's easy, but when it's required. Your future doesn't wait. Your destiny won't beg, and your potential won't chase you. It waits for you to catch up to it. This is your wake-up call to sharpen your focus, to discipline your habits, to own your routine. There is no finish line. Only deeper levels of mastery, only greater versions of you waiting to be unlocked. The world needs your fire, not your excuses. So rest, move. Build yourself until quitting isn't an option and success is your identity. This is how you take back control. This is how you become unstoppable. There is no breakthrough without resistance, no elevation without tension. Every time you feel pressure closing in, understand this. It's a signal, not a stop sign. It's a sign that growth is trying to be born through you. The discomfort you're feeling is the stretching of your capacity. The agitation is proof that transformation is underway. Stop wishing it were easier. Start demanding more from yourself. Most people crumble when life tightens the grip. But you must rise when others retreat. You must build in silence what others only dream in noise. You must grind while others gossip. You must develop the inner structure that can hold the weight of your vision. Average doesn't break barriers. Convenience doesn't create legends. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of consistent discipline sacrifice. And that version is powerful. That version doesn't chase validation. That version commands presence without words. But to get there, you must stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop making comfort your idol. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. You don't need a perfect plan. You need relentless execution. You already know what needs to be done. The only question is whether you'll do it when no one's watching, when your feelings tell you to stop, when the rewards are invisible. Do not wait for inspiration. Create momentum with move, move, move. The mind follows the body. The emotion follows the decision. So move when it hurts. Move when it's dark. Move when your strength is down to a whisper. Because every act of defiance against your weakness builds your strength. Every time you conquer procrastination, You teach your mind that you are in charge, you are the architect. You are not a slave to mood. You are not a prisoner of feelings. You are the builder of your future, and builders build daily. Not when it's convenient, not when the stars align.
Billy!
You must keep your inner world clean. Eliminate thoughts that sabotage your power. Reject beliefs that shrink your possibilities. Replace them with focus, with clarity, with conviction. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the voice that says you can't. You are the decision you make right now. And that decision must be to become unshakable, to develop the kind of inner fortitude that doesn't need external applause. You don't need praise to perform. You don't need applause to advance. You need hunger. You need vision. You need to remember who you are and why you started. Every moment of hesitation is a missed opportunity to rise. Every delay is permission for mediocrity to take root. So refuse to delay. Refuse to drift. Refuse to settle. Lock into your purpose like your future depends on it, because this is not about hype. This is about responsibility. This isn't about becoming the person who's waiting for it. The choice is yours. Stay still or rise up and become unstoppable. Your future does not respond to what you feel. It responds to what you consistently do. And the most powerful change begins in silence, when no one sees, when no one claps, when no one understands. That's when warriors are forged. That's when greatness is carved into soul. You don't need a stage to be excellent. You don't need recognition to be relentless. You need discipline, and you need clarity. The kind of clarity that slices through distraction, that cancels every excuse, stares comfort in the face, and chooses the harder path without hesitation, because the higher version of you is not built in convenience. It's born in the furnace of self-control. Your mind is your battleground, and every morning you are either reinforcing your limits or expanding your capacity. You either repeat the same patterns or you break them. You either drift or you direct. The difference is brutal honesty. The refusal to lie to yourself another day. The decision to stop explaining failure and start executing success. Your results will always betray your ritual. And if your habits are not aligned with your vision, your life will never produce the results your potential is capable of. Stop waiting for the right mood. Stop chasing comfort. Comfort is the enemy of elevation. Choose habits that challenge you. You are either building the muscle of mastery or reinforcing the chains of procrastination. There's no middle ground. You cannot evolve while defending your limitations. You must destroy them with fire, with unwavering repetition. You are not tired. Your power is found in responsibility. Own everything, the progress, the pain, the pace. Because once you take full ownership, you take full control. You are not here to be average. You are not here to fit in. You are here to dominate your lane with focus, intensity, and unwavering self-respect. The power to change your life is not in the hands of the world. It's in your daily choices, your internal standards, your commitment to rise above the noise. You are either moving closer to your vision or drifting deeper into regret. There is no neutral. You can't stay who you've always been and expect to become who you were meant to be. Something has to be sacrificed. And the first thing that must go is the version of you that keeps playing small. Your habits are not random. They are rituals of identity. The more you seek approval, the more you surrender power. No one is coming to save you, crown you, or tell you it's your turn. It's your turn the moment you decide it is. When you stop tiptoeing around your potential and start stepping boldly into it. Every time you do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable, you are casting a vote for the future you want. Raise your standard. Upgrade your urgency. Train your mind to obey your higher self, not your weaker self. And as your discipline increases, your identity will evolve. You'll no longer need motivation because you'll become the source of it. You'll no longer chase results, they'll chase you. Stop waiting for motivation. It fades. Build a structure that doesn't rely on your feelings to function. Create systems in your life that are so solid they carry you through the moments when your energy dips. Because real strength is not about intensity, it's about consistency. The cost of hesitation is destiny delayed. The price of inaction is potential abandon. You weren't meant to survive. You were meant to build. But you cannot build from a weak place. You cannot construct a powerful life with fragile standards. Raise them. praise them. The difference between mediocrity and mastery is not in the talent you possess. It is in the standard you demand from yourself. Success does not respond to the casual. It bows to the committed. It respects those who show up in full force not once in a while, but every single day. And every time you make that choice, you don't just move forward, you evolve. You begin to shed the version of yourself that was built on hesitation, distraction, and delay. You begin to construct a foundation unyielding, unshakable. Success is not owned, it is lead. You need authority over your own choices, and that begins with how you wake up, how you show up, how you speak to yourself before the world has a chance to. Either you are reinforcing your greatness or reinforcing your limits. There is no neutral. There is no neutrine. There is no in between. It belongs to those who are willing to master the mundane, those who rise early, execute consistently, and do the work when no one's watching. That is where the internal power is built. That is where the habits of greatness are formed. If you skip that process, you forfeit the reward. You were not made to tiptoe through life hoping not to disturb anything. You were made to move mountains. You were made to rise with intensity, to speak with conviction, to act with courage. And that level of power only comes when you make discomfort your ally and action your default. And when you step forward with full intensity, with heart, with hunger, the world shifts, not for the person you were, but for the person you decided to become. Every second you hesitate, your potential waits in silence, watching you question what should already be in motion. If you keep feeding distraction, you will starve progress. But if you feed your commitment, if you nurture your hunger for excellence, you'll break through every invisible wall that once held you back. Discipline is the gateway. Consistency is the key, and clarity is the map. Unwavering, unshakable commitment. You are not here to blend in. You are here to break patterns, to silence doubt with action, to bury procrastination under the weight of daily consistency. You don't need louder motivation, you need clearer standards. Keep rising, keep executing, keep becoming. Your greatness is not a possibility, it's a decision, and it begins with how you choose to show up right now. There is a version of you that already exists, the one who doesn't hate, doesn't complain, doesn't retreat. It's shaped by what you do, despite how you feel. The real you is forged in those silent moments where no one is watching, but everything is being decided. The moment your alarm rings, it's not just time to get up. It's time to rise above every excuse, every emotion, every reason to delay. The world will not give you focus. You must forge it in the fire of daily discipline, and the world will not deliver success. You must extract it from the battlefield of your mind. There is no shortcut, no escape, only the raw, unfiltered truth. Your life is a result of your rituals. It is carved through decisions repeated when comfort tempts you to retreat. When you wake up and choose discipline, you are declaring war on the old you, the passive you, the distracted you, the excuse-filled version of yourself that has held you back. You are not here to make peace with mediocrity. Your decisions must align with the outcome you claim to want. There is no room for half effort anymore, no space for a maybe. No more tolerating average in the name of balance. You're not called to balance mediocrity and greatness. You are called to rise, to push. If you want to live a life that breaks limits, you must stop living like you have time to waste. Time is not neutral. Every moment you delay, every second you hesitate, is working against the life you say you want. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need a plus to move. In the moment you believe that is the moment everything changes, you need to stop apologizing for being intense about your goals. You need to stop diluting your ambition to make others comfortable. Your hunger is not too much. Your drive is not too loud. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. You don't need to be flawless. You need to be faithful to the grind, faithful to the unseen process. Because behind every breakthrough is 1,000 unseen repetitions done when no one was watching. That's the real work.